but you are a body, and you're more than just your body. Like that, spirit, diamond approach kind of stuff. What I appreciate so much about diamond approach is there's so no truthiness in it. It really is just about investigation and study and, kind of like thinking. And there's no right answers. There's a guy who like kind of started it, but you don't really follow him. Like there's no, it's very interesting to see some of these things kind of played out through a school. It's a school, the Ridwan school. So it's got that format to it and it's missing all this other weird stuff. So it's interesting that Scientology, he took that piece and it's almost like one of the other piece. He rejected all that. And he says in this book, The 60 Minutes, when there's like, she does an interview with him and he's talking at some point about he took these parts of Scientology, he left all the thetan stuff, which I can now hear because that's spiritual stuff.
Right. That's exactly right. That's right.
And he took all the reasoning stuff. He took all the like.
Yeah, I mean, like people are like, oh, it's Scientology. I'm like, he left Scientology. Like, don't you want someone that if you're like anti-Scientology for whatever reason, like, don't you want someone that's also, oh, maybe that doesn't work for everyone if that's what you're really committed to. Certainly it works for a lot of people. Anyway, check out our other videos from the beginning of this. This is like hour 2 into this. And yeah, if you haven't done the Form of the Advanced course, 2 best things I've ever done, 2 5-day courses, $915, $200 down deposit. The $915 is before discount. 10-session seminar series included in it. And yeah, I've made $1 million and saved $1 million after doing the Form. Found the woman of my dreams, 12-year marriage. I'm healthier than the health issues that I was dealing with before.
But because he didn't want to be limited. No matter how big the Catholics are, they still only get all the Catholics. He wanted everybody.
Right. Exactly.
They don't got them all.
That's right.
Yourself in that way.
Wow. Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think world peace was going to look like? If it's in a 10-day course that no one ever has to take ever again. I mean, isn't that like, I don't know, if we can cause world peace without having people discover things about themselves for 10 days and pay money for it, we would do that, but it doesn't seem to be really producing the result that you're looking for if you're looking for world peace. So eventually, if you're really committed to world peace, we would have to come up with something that everyone seems to kind of be like, oh yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you about. And if everybody could do that, what would that be like? Everybody felt fully expressed. Everybody felt like someone else had empathy for them.
There's a whole, sort of mystic thing to that, and you're taught through various procedures and training drills, through regimens that you do to suppress your emotions, and you learn how to basically enter a kind of, these are controversial terms.
He's talking about Scientology. She worked at Landmark Worldwide, and neither one of them has the other side of the experience. It's kind of like the blind leading.
Different ideas about things. I'm just trying to use these words to communicate the concept. You enter a kind of trance state, you kind of enter this unemotional state. You learn to suppress your emotions. You learn to be at top.
Yeah, Landmark would be fully self-expressed with your emotions. I mean, it would be, getting that emotions are real emotions. They're just not real. But in no way would Landmark ever be suppressing. It's the opposite.
Over your emotions. He has a little poem that he wrote called "The Joy of Creating," where there's a line in there about, force yourself to smile and you'll soon stop frowning. Force yourself to laugh and you'll soon find something to laugh about. Being causes his own fear.
So wild. She's not stopping him, being like, no, that's not Landmark at all, because she feels like they forced her to make more eye contact or whatever it was. Yeah, there's no force, there's no coercive control, there's no cult-like in any
feeling. Greatest joy there is in life is creating splurge on it, right? And this little poem is used throughout Scientology to, you're the one creating your emotions, and that's the lie. Because you're not. That's not how emotions work at all. And I've spent a lot of time studying this. So it's all backwards world.
Yeah, again, you get that a little bit in the Form and a lot in the advanced course, is that it's not you feeling, you have the feeling.
And that's what these gurus do, is they give you a false solution to a real problem. And because
you're just comparing these gurus with the Landmark Form. There's no comparison whatsoever.
If people can buy into these solutions and have it work on them, they become convinced that this is a dogmatic truth they must cling to, rather.
No, it's not a dogmatic truth. It's a universal reality. And if you want what you say that you want, maybe it's you want to get on this side of reality versus no, there must be something fishy going on side of reality versus seeing for yourself.
There's an experience that they had, and they can't quite separate these things. That's how I see it.
I can completely concur with that, and what I've been studying, learning, and whatnot as well. Like it's really right on, because and there's a lot of shortcutting. There's a lot of, who doesn't want to be told that you don't have to feel those icky feelings?
Exactly. That's right.
It's all my problem.
I mean, yeah, that's not shortcutting to call your sadness real sadness and then say, that emotions or that sadness isn't really real. It's real sadness. Nobody's saying it's not real sadness. I don't think that's shortcutting. I think that's having the distinctions of the form in the advanced course. I mean, I challenge anybody that hasn't done the advanced course to get that emotions and feelings aren't really real. Um, I wouldn't have that. I could hear about it, but I wouldn't have it unless I did the advanced course.
Without having to go through the mess. The other thing I think that's really getting us, and that I'm seeing a lot, is how we.
Yeah. If again, if they found a better way to do it, they would go ahead and do that, but they don't, and you don't either. You don't have a better way to do it, what they're doing, either. And if you do have a better way to do it, then go do it.
I kind of point this in my book. Actually, my book and my interviews are starting to blend, but because I've seen so much since the book was published. And, but we are always looking to outsource our responsibility and our answers. Like I'm going to outsource my power somehow. So if I believe this thing, then I'll have strength. You know, but it's an external seeking. That's one of the things that my coach and I were talking about the other day. Is this sort of so like, gosh, where does it all go wrong, right? Because there's always this grain.
So you spent all this money and time on landmark courses, and then got paid 55 grand a year to work for them, or 50 to 60 grand a year. Naturally, that's in, I believe, 2022 terms. So surely the salary wasn't the same back in the 70s or whatever. And now you have a new coach that is, you're dealing with your problems with landmark. It just so doesn't add up. I would imagine how people in Scientology may deal with problems. I don't look at it as problems. I look at it as a challenge or a fun thing to do or what. I don't look at it like that. So it's just so amazing how she's speaking like she's never even done the forum. It's just so wild.
Kind of human, I think, in a lot of these ideas. But then it gets so twisted and wrong. And she was making the point that, well,
Yeah, it is human reality. They don't really delve in things that aren't in the realm of being human. Like I said, they don't delve in the realm of theology or even health, or psychology or whatever.
we're looking for the money and power and influence have been turned into the power source. It's all external. Rather,
If you think this is about money, power, and influences, you couldn't be further off base. They offer a good value. It is less expensive than their competitors. It is more effective than their competitors. It is not about power whatsoever. If they ever use the word power, which they do frequently, it is not meant to be power in the way that you would think it would mean in that definition. It is the same thing as freedom. Power is freedom in this definition. Power is empowerment. It is you being you being your 6-year-old self and bringing that fun and excitement level to your work today.
rather than internal. So all these, all these things, all these teachings that teach us to go external rather than internal, I think are a real problem.
All these things teach you to go external rather than internal. I don't know what you're talking about. You're saying to deny your emotions. That wasn't the form, or you didn't get the advanced course because that's not where they intended whatsoever.
Well, all the way I grew up Christian, and I actually had a good experience.
Seems to me that she got in touch with Rick Allen Ross. Rick Allen Ross has concerns and he's never done the forum, so she got caught up in his concerns and then wrote a book and then published it and then talked about it online, and then people are commenting with their experience as well, and they're saying how they had those questions as well, and meanwhile it was never the intention of anything whatsoever, and it's not a cult whatsoever, so you can't call it a cult, which you did in this video, and is all over this video calling Landmark Forum problems and cults. Which could be further from the opposite, or further from the truth.
I had a relatively good experience.
Is the exact opposite.
In the non-denominational Pittsburgh. But you know why? Because I learned somewhere in some Sunday school class when I was very little that Jesus lives in me. That I'm
And this is really great that you're having this. So I would say that a lot of people that didn't do the forum wouldn't have this epiphany, realization, whatever you want to call it, right now, that you're having right now, live on camera, in that Jesus, Yeshua, is Yahweh, which means I am, or I am becoming, or I will be, and you're creating yourself, and Jesus created that possibility and shared that possibility of you create who you are, and you create who you are, and I'll create who I am, and you create who you are, and the community creates who the community is, and your family creates who your family is, and your world creates who your world is, and your faith creates who your faith is, and you get to not be stuck with that thing that you just said, and you could completely start anew in this moment right now and forget everything I just said in the last few minutes if I wanted to. If I learned something new about myself and looked out at my life and saw that is now I have a new view of things that I didn't know. Now I can shift and not be stuck or have to do that thing that I thought I had to do and nobody told you.
Jesus may be infinite. I can do this.
Yes.
Jesus is me.
And to do that, to share that with a person that has grown up in Judaism, it might not work for them. So that's good for you, but that's not good for all the people on the planet. Just as an example, then you have people that believe in all sorts of different things. I mean, anyway.
I had this very profound experience when I was little, looking like totally, enveloped in light, and I was like, oh.
And if you look, like it looks like 6 billion people plus are related to descendants of Abraham. And really, we all believe in the same thing. And any thing that has someone not believe in the same thing, but thrive or are that happened, and that is empowering for people. And if more people knew about that, that would be better for the planet or whatever it is that how you have it to yeah, I mean, look, yeah, it just works for everybody. And I challenge anybody to say otherwise, and challenge anybody to share that stuff. I mean, once you find out the thing that's going to work for all people, like I challenge you to share that. And
I say, really, Jesus love me.
There is no way to share it. I can't. It's like I can't explain an experience.
It's my whole thing. And now I think, I'm not so sure about Jesus. I mean, I think there's, I don't know, is there a higher force or a greater power? I don't know. We'll find out someday, probably, or probably not. I don't know. I don't think I really need to worry about that. My dog.
So close. When I put together what I got out of the forum and put together that with the Yahweh, I had just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe, had the epiphany realization, whatever, that people living today are that. Whoa. They already are. Biggest problem with enlightenment is people selling themselves on they're not enlightened yet.